The film begins by introducing a gang of bikers called the Outcasts as they arrive at one of their secret clubhouses. Unknown to them, the DEA is closely surveilling their every move. The gang enters the building, which hides a meth lab inside. Danny, the leader of the gang, meets with Phil Broker, one of his trusted members, to discuss transporting their meth. They also involve Danny's young son, Jojo, in the conversation, outlining their plans. Just as the gang is getting ready, the DEA swoops in with a raid and starts arresting the members. The DEA leader asks for an update on their undercover agent, who is revealed to be none other than Phil Broker. Danny, realizing that Phil has been feeding information to the authorities, quickly grabs his son and tries to escape. Phil, however, aids an injured DEA agent, and just as they are about to leave, the building explodes. Danny escapes in a car, and Phil hops on his bike to chase him. They soon come face to face with a police roadblock. Danny tries to turn around, but they run directly into Phil, who unexpectedly slides off his bike and shoots at Danny's car, causing it to explode in a fiery blaze. Phil moves in to arrest Danny, and he shoots Jojo in the leg, forcing him to drop his weapon. As the other agents arrive and demand Jojo surrender, he intentionally chooses to get killed. Phil is devastated by the loss, but Danny, consumed with anger and grief, blames Phil for his son's death. Heartbroken, Phil walks away, filled with guilt and regret. 2 years later, the story shifts to a school where Phil's daughter, Maddie, is playing alone. She's taunted by a bully, Tommy Klein, who pushes her down. She warns him twice before retaliating and breaks his nose. Phil, now living in a quiet Louisiana town where Maddie's late mother grew up, is working on a carpentry project with his friend Nico when he gets a call from Maddie's school. He rushes over and finds Tommy in the principal's office, being treated by the nurse. Tommy's parents demand justice, but Phil is approached by teacher Susan. Cassie Bodine, Tommy's mother, confronts Phil but is pulled away by the sheriff. Phil speaks to Maddie, who explains the incident, and Phil blames himself for teaching her self-defense. Phil and Sarah share a moment, revealing that Maddie's mother passed recently, and Phil moved to the town for Maddie's love of horseback riding. Outside, Cassie sends her husband, Frankie, to confront Phil over Tommy's injury. Frankie challenges Phil, but Phil quickly takes him down, embarrassing him in front of his family. The sheriff intervenes, assuring Phil that he isn't in trouble but asking about how Phil handled Frankie. Phil brushes it off and promises there won't be any more issues. He joins Maddie, who says the teachers saw everything. Cassie, furious, decides to involve her brother Gator, a local drug dealer who runs a meth operation, to handle the situation. After intimidating some local gangsters, Gator agrees to help Cassie confront Phil. Meanwhile, Phil spends quality time with Maddie and later attends a school meeting where Susan suggests that he apologize to Teddy's family to keep tensions low. Taking the advice, Phil visits Jimmy at his workplace to apologize, and Jimmy recommends he extend the apology to Cassie and Teddy as well. Phil agrees, but on his way back, he's provoked by Gator's men at a gas station, leading to a brutal fight where Phil quickly takes them down. When Gator learns about the altercation, he becomes determined to find out more about Phil. While Phil is out with Maddie, Gator breaks into his house and uncovers Phil's past as an undercover DEA agent and his role in Jojo's death. Armed with this information, Gator plots to use it against him. Later, Phil notices his car tire has been slashed and Maddie's favorite doll destroyed, realizing someone had been inside their home. Ignoring warnings about the risks, Gator offers Phil's information to the Outcasts gang in exchange for drug distribution rights in their area. Meanwhile, Phil starts piecing together that Gator was behind the break-in. Suspecting Jimmy, he confronts him, but Jimmy insists he has nothing to do with it. Gator then meets with his girlfriend, who is Outcasts member Cheryl Marie. Their meeting is tense, telling him her leader Cyrus demanding to know Phil's whereabouts. During this time, Maddie invites Teddy to a party, and for a brief moment, things seem calm. Later, Gator warns Cassie to stay away from Phil, but she instead demands drugs from her brother. Gator refuses, urging her to get her life together. Phil, seeking more information on Gator, reaches out to his former DA boss. Through their discussion, he learns about a woman named Marie who is connected to Gator and requests her photograph. Following a lead from Tito, Phil heads to a cafe and spots Gator there. When Phil approaches him, Gator immediately accuses him of injuring Jimmy and blames Maddie for Teddy's accident. Phil warns Gator to keep quiet about his past and accuses him of vandalizing his car and destroying Maddie's doll. He threatens that if anyone trespass on his property again, they won't leave alive. Gator denies the allegations, and Phil walks away. Shortly after, Phil receives Marie's photo and recognizes her as the woman seen with Gator. Determined to gather evidence, Phil infiltrates Gator's boat repair shop, which doubles as a meth lab. Drawing on his DEA experience, he discovers meth-making equipment and product ready for distribution. Before leaving, he rigs the electrical system to trigger an explosion when the lights are switched on. On his way out, he notices Maddie's missing cat. Before he can act, one of Gator's men ambushes him at gunpoint. Phil quickly disarms the man but is attacked by the same thug from the gas station incident. They capture and torture him, mocking him and threatening Maddie's safety. Overcome with rage, Phil fights back, kills his captors with brutal precision, rescues the cat, and escapes. Meanwhile, the outcasts, led by Cyrus, arrive at Gator's hideout, demanding to know where Phil lives. Although furious with Marie for bringing them there, Gator provides Phil's address but avoids direct involvement. At Phil's property, Tito arrives to help with the horses. As the gang approaches, Tito hears suspicious noises in the stables and goes to investigate, only to be attacked. Despite being wounded, Tito manages to stab one of the gang members with a garden fork. Hearing gunfire, Phil quickly secures Maddie in the basement and prepares to defend their home. Armed and ready, Phil engages in a violent shootout with the intruders. During the chaos, one of the gang members spots Maddie, forcing her to flee into the woods. As Phil battles the attackers, Marie calls Gator, warning him that things are spiraling out of control. Maddie is nearly caught, but Phil intervenes just in time, killing her pursuer. He then faces Cyrus in a brutal fight while Maddie, trying to escape, encounters Marie by the shore. As Phil gains the upper hand in his fight with Cyrus, Marie seizes the moment, abducts Maddie, and escapes by boat, leaving Phil helpless on the dock. The police arrive as Phil reports the kidnapping and tend to a severely injured Tito. Suddenly, Maddie manages to call Phil, giving the authorities enough information to trace her location. Realizing where Gator has taken her, Phil races to the hideout. Enraged at Marie for bringing Maddie to his place, Gator prepares to kill her. Around the same time, Cassie and Jimmy arrive, having heard about the shootout and Maddie's disappearance. Cassie grows suspicious upon hearing Maddie's voice inside. When she turns on the lights, she inadvertently triggers Phil's explosive trap, causing a massive explosion that obliterates Gator's meth lab. Amid the chaos, Cassie tries to shield Maddie, but Gator, furious and unhinged, shoots her and drags Maddie away as he flees. Phil arrives just in time to see the aftermath and gives chase, resulting in a high-speed pursuit. The police set up roadblocks, but Gator evades them, crossing a bridge. Phil's car crashes during the chase, but he survives and continues the pursuit on foot. When Gator aims his gun at Phil, Maddie calls out to her father, momentarily distracting Gator. Using the opportunity, Phil overpowers him and beats him savagely. Despite the chance to kill him, Phil spares Gator's life, telling him that Maddie is the reason he's still breathing. Paramedics arrive to treat the wounded, including Cassie, while Phil and Maddie leave the scene together.